I'm Jen. I wanted to do a second video. I mean, there's got to be a second if there's a first, right? Well, at least that's the idea of it. And just let you guys know a little bit more about me and my goals, my expectations about my weight. Um, my biggest fear about being heavy is that, I mean, I know I'm 206 pounds. I didn't weigh myself today because I'm not going to do that every day. That's enough to make you go nuts in and of itself, right? But I grew up watching my mom, who was always very heavy, and I watched her struggle, not just with her weight, but with her physical health. She was always sickly. There was always something wrong with my mom, always. I mean, my entire life growing up, I can't remember a time where she was absolutely fine. I grew up in Southern California, and going to Disneyland when I was 8 years old, I would have to push my mom around in a wheelchair because her knees were so bad that she couldn't handle walking around the theme park. That sucked. It sucked for her. I'm sure it was embarrassing. She never said anything about it. It sucked for me because I didn't have my mom to go on those rides with me because she didn't want to, get out of the chair and do the whole thing. And probably her weight had something to do with that too. She didn't feel like she would fit on the rides. Um, so growing up watching my mom struggle so very much with her weight and her physical health and her mobility, and it's really driven me to, before I get any older, before I get too old to care, I want to get physically fit. I want to get in shape. I want to be healthy for my son, for my husband, for myself, and I don't want to end up having, my mom did the gastro bypass surgery, and at first she was really successful with it. She lost a lot of weight, but she also lost her hair. Her hair was so thin before she passed away in 2017, unfortunately. But her hair had gotten so thin because her body wasn't absorbing the minerals and vitamins and everything that you need to have hair and to be healthy. It wasn't absorbing all of that. And plus the diet is supposedly very limited when you have your surgery, after you've had your surgery. But it wasn't long and she was gaining again. She had this surgery. I'm trying to remember exactly when, but it was quite some time ago. And then I remember my grandmother passed away. And we drove down to Oklahoma where my grandma was, and we went to her funeral. And on the way back, well, my mom went with someone else, but she drove back with me. And we stopped at the gas station, get gas and stuff before we got back on the road. And she got a king size Butterfinger candy bar. She ate the whole damn thing. And this is a woman that she had all of her stomach with the exception of the amount of like the tip of my pinky. And her whole stomach removed, half of her small intestine. She's not supposed to eat this stuff, but I'm assuming because she would never talk about it, maybe her emotions, her depression from losing my grandmother, it caused her to eat. And she started eventually to put that weight back on. And it wasn't until maybe a year, maybe 2 years before she passed away that she finally started to shed some of that weight. And then mobility. My mother's mobility was so terrible. She had to have both knees replaced. One knee she had to have replaced twice because the first knee replacement was such a shoddy job. I mean, it was just terrible. I felt so bad. That she had to go through all of that, right? Goes through the surgery at the hospital, and then you have to go to this rehabilitation hospital, and where she had to live for a while to have them help her, learn to walk with these implants in her. And man, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to ever go through that, and I don't ever want my son to see me go through that either, right? Oh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. So I really am serious about this weight loss journey. I am going to do it. I'm gonna, my biggest things is I can't do anything that requires me to make these huge, massive, upend my universe kind of changes all at once. It's not going to happen. I have a husband and I have a son that I have to cook for and take care of. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at myself and the things that I can change with little to no effort. No, that's my baby steps. Those are going to be my goals at first, right? Like I can't, expect to lose 70 pounds in a month. That's just, well, if I could, it's just very unhealthy and I don't want to lose my hair too, right? Um, so I'm going to work on not drinking so much soda. That is, like I said in my first video, it's a huge vice for me. I love my soda. I could barely eat all day, but I might drink, several bottles of soda. So I'm going to work on eating healthier foods. Like for breakfast today, I had an English muffin with a little bit of strawberry jelly. Not necessarily the healthiest thing in the world, but I mean, it's better than cracking open a Coke, and that's my breakfast, right? So I had that, and then I had a high protein steak burrito from Costco as my lunch with a little bit of salsa verde. And so instead of trying to consume all my calories with no nutritional value whatsoever by drinking soda all day long, I'm going to try to make those small changes where I can step away from the soda and just eat, just eat enough that I feel satiated, and that I'm not just putting all that, just those empty, worthless calories in my body. Because I'll go all day. My husband will be at work, and he's gone for 10 hours every day, and he'll come home and I haven't eaten all day, but I've had 4 Cokes or Sprites or what have you, right? And so I need to make changes like that. I can't wait all day to eat, but have, oh goodness, how many calories are in a 20-ounce bottle of Coke? I don't have one handy. There might be one in the pantry down here, but it's ridiculous. So I'm going to try to make those healthy baby steps to start. And then also my treadmill. I'm going to do my very best to get on there at least 3 to 5 times a week. I mean, I do have a little one. It's hard to get down here. He's napping right now, which is the only reason why I'm able to make this video. But I am going to try to get down here, and I'm not going to try to, run a 5K or something. I'm going to 15, 20, 30 minutes, what I can stand at the fastest speed that I can stand to start. I know that in time I'll build up endurance, and then I'll be able to go longer. And then, and it's starting to I live in the suburbs of Chicago, so it's still kind of chilly here. We had a beautiful weather 2 weeks ago, and then now it's been kind of chilly. So anytime that I go out for a walk, I have a little guy that's going out for a walk too. But once the weather starts to get nicer and stays nicer and consistent, then I'm going to take him out, and I live half a mile from our homeowners association has a little private beach. And so I'm going to walk over there and take him to the park. It's a half mile there, half mile back. It's not a lot, but like I said, the beginnings of this are going to be baby steps, because I have to learn to make adjustments and changes that I can live with. I don't want to be too much too fast, because that's when I give up. That's when I quit. That's when I put weight back on, right? And that's the opposite of what I want. I'm already, over 200 pounds. And it's hard. It's enough, right? I want to be healthy. I'm going to be getting to the doctor soon, because I'm afraid that because of my weight, my blood pressure might be elevated. I don't know. I do have one of those blood pressure cuffs in my cabinet that my in-laws gave us for my husband, because he does have high blood pressure. But I'm afraid to take my own blood pressure, because I'm afraid it's going to be high, and then I won't have a choice but to go to the doctor and take medicine, which I'm terrified of taking medicine because of my anxiety. It's a whole thing. This is going to be hard, learning to communicate with you guys, learning to record these videos and make it something that you guys are going to want to watch with me, because I need all the support I can get when I'm doing this. My husband's very supportive, but he works a lot. And my mom is gone. Don't know my dad. So I really feel like I'm in this by myself sometimes, even though I know I'm not. I mean, I'm not trying to be, oh, woe is me, like, where? I know I'm not alone, but sometimes it can be really lonely. And so I felt like by starting this channel, and by opening up my life and my experiences and my feelings, that I might be able to find some support out there, right? Like, I know there's going to be trolls, and people are going to talk about my weight, and I get it. Have at it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I don't care. I'm not here to let myself be bothered by somebody that wants to try to bring me down, because I'm a big enough person to know that the only way that other people can affect me is if I let them, right? Like, if I let that bother me. But I'm not going to let that bother me. That's not why I'm here. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to maybe find other people that are going through the same thing, and try to get them to be on board with me, so that we can communicate with each other, so that we can do this together, so that you guys can encourage me, so that maybe I can encourage you, so that maybe you can call me out on my bullshit if I am obviously slipping, because I don't want to, right? And because I'm alone so much, my 3-year-old's not exactly going to tell me, Mom, put that Coke back in the refrigerator, right? Because I'm alone so much, if I'm documenting my journey, if I am putting it all out there, then I'll have you guys to be like, girl, it's obvious that you're not doing something you said you're going to do, right? But I just want you guys to know that it's going to be slow at first, because this is new for me. And like I said, I don't want to do so much so fast that I quit, that I give up, that I don't care. Because it's easily, with anxiety and everything, it's really easy to get overwhelmed. And I don't want that. I don't want to overwhelm myself to the point where I just give up. Because I have seen a lot of YouTube channels where I just don't get it. Those girls, I don't want to say no names, but they start out with this weight loss journey, and somehow, some way, they're bigger than when they started. I don't want that for myself. I'm sure my husband doesn't want that for myself either. So I'm hoping that you guys are at least interested enough to hear more about me, and more about my life, and more about my story and my journey and my likes and my dislikes. And I hope you find me interesting enough that you will join me on this, and we can do this together, because I could use all the support I could get. All right, that's all. Thanks. I'll see you in the next video.